tell the whole story start to finish the way it was written by Homer in the Odyssey. So, to set the stage, I was probably around like 13 or 14, I'm not exactly sure when, and I was just starting to refine my palate and get a taste for what I liked from pornography and titties and stuff on the internet. And during this time I was very religious, so I was kind of fearful and ashamed of watching porn. I thought anytime I even touched my wiener, I was giving God the middle finger and he was ashamed of me and sad and he'd frown, so I didn't do it all that often. But occasionally the mood would strike me right and I'd Google image search for boobies and butts and vaginis and, you know, get very excited looking at these things, you know, give it 2 thumbs up and sometimes even save it to favorites on my folder. But anyway, one particular evening, I was extremely horny. I was Googling boobies left and right. I was like fucking Professor Xavier jacking into Cerebro. I was looking at boobies all over the place. I could see them all over the internet. And man, I was just really fucking feeling myself. I didn't jerk off or anything though, because like I said, I thought jerking off was a bit too far in the eyes of Christianity, and Google Images was tame enough where, you know, I'd be forgiven. So I was looking at these images, and I eventually said, you know what, this is enough. I went into the bathroom, I was going to take my shower, I was still sailing full mast, I was hard as a fucking diamond, and man, I was just so horny I would have fucked my own ass if I could. But anyway, I'm standing there super erect in front of my shower, and I look at my wiener and I'm like, damn, that's my fucking winky doodle right there, going in my mouth. But I was never a flexible guy. I could never throw my legs behind my head and start nibbling on my ball sack or anything. I just was never flexible at any point in my life. But for some reason, I got the idea that I could absolutely accomplish the sucking of my own cock. So I attempted. I get like halfway down and then I damn near need life alert because I thought I was going to snap my spine in half going for this advanced contortionist move. So I'm just locked in this fucking demonic pose looking like Schmeagol admiring his precious in Lord of the Rings. And then I start to worry, like, damn, if I die here, the authorities are gonna find my body looking like some type of sexual deviant. This is gonna be the worst way of going out. I'm not even gonna have, like, a cool going out story. It's just the obituary is gonna read, yeah, he died doing what he loved, attempting to blow himself or something like that. He broke himself in half going for a self-blowjob. That's not, like, cool at all. But I still wanted to keep trying. I wasn't deterred. I really thought I could pull it off if I just kept giving it my all. I started to get like anime inspired, like with the power of friendship and by never giving up, resiliency, persistence, and if I get real angry, I'll go Super Saiyan and suck my own dick real quick. So I kept trying. I probably tried for in total maybe like a minute, but it felt like an hour. And it just wasn't happening. I knew it wasn't happening. And then I decided it's time to pee, but I never really adjusted myself. I was still looking at my dick as it was looking at me. We were making eye contact. I was staring down the hole of the one-eyed snake there. And I started to, you know, fire on all cylinders to pee. And it's a little harder to pee with an erection. It takes a little bit longer to travel up the urethra. So I had a little bit of time here. And it wasn't until the pee was about to reach the point of no return where I'm like, damn, I'm about to golden shower myself. My face is looking right down the barrel of this loaded gun. So like a fucking Matrix move or like a superhero move, I start peeing and I dodge it. I lift my head back up and then I just start fountaining it over myself, and I'm safe, I'm dry, I don't get pee in my face or anything, but I almost did. The point I'm making is, yes, I've tried to suck my own dick. It did not go well. God did not bless me with the gift of being able to suck myself off, and I'm sure most men probably can't do it, but there are some select few champions out there that can, and don't let any man tell you they haven't tried. I promise you, nearly every single man on this planet has tried to suck their own penis at one point or another. You don't have to be embarrassed. There's so many of us out there. Come home. Tell your story of sucking your own penis to friends and family to let them know that, yes, you're human. Yes, you've tried. Amen, brother. Take it easy, everyone. See ya. Porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize. The one thing every human being has in common, the love of porn, the art of porn, the ethereal beauty of the craft. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I used to watch the same porn video for the better part of 2 years, perhaps a little longer than 2 years, but I'm going to say 2 years just to err on the side of caution. I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut at the moment, and that I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic watered down bullshit meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. The video still exists. I know, I get emails all the time like, hey, I found that lesbian porn that you used to jerk off to, you know, that used to haunt your fucking boners. Here it is. Yes, I know it's still on the internet, but in like 240 and 360p. On RedTube, it used to be 480. 480p or higher does not exist anywhere on the internet anymore. Trust me, I have looked. But that's besides the point. That's just to give you the context of what the video is. Maybe someone else out there used to also have OCD and jerk off to this video for 2 years straight. And if so, you're not alone, my brother or my sister. You and I now share a cosmic bond, a bond stronger than the bond between a mother and her child. I love you. Now, I wasn't just watching this lesbian porno. I had an entire routine for it, like a choreographed dance routine for jerking off to this video. And I know I've talked about a little of this on the podcast before, but I still get emails asking me to talk more about that porno that I jerked off to for 2 years. So I figured I'd talk more about it. I also get emails asking me what's my Twitch account, and I'm glad you asked. It's twitch.tv/moistcritikal. Go drop a follow, subscribe. Love to see you over there. I stream daily. Twitch.tv/moistcritikal. Fuck yeah. But anyway, so this routine that I came up with, well, not that I came up with, that I kind of fucking cursed myself with and burdened myself with at the time. But I would make certain facial expressions during certain points in the video. I would say certain things to the actresses in the video, and make no mistake, you goddamn delusional incels, the porn actresses are just that, they're actresses. They have a script of certain moves they're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you. As if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. It was a really weird routine, it really was. To kind of give you a brief oversight of all of it, I'm not going to walk you through every step that I would do here. In fact, I don't even remember all of them anymore. But before I would watch the video, I would queue it up and let it all buffer and load, because this was a long time ago, and I'm fucking using RedTube, so obviously it's a long time ago. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video, so that way I couldn't see them, and they couldn't see me, obviously. And I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from 0 to hero. So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action. As it would start, I would say hello to the girls, and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing, and then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck. And I would love to remember exactly all the shit that I would say. I don't necessarily want to see underage me jerking himself off into the webcam or anything. I could skip that part. But I at least want to see what I was saying to the girls during the video. But that's kind of how it went. Facial expressions, words and things I would say to the girls. It was always the same. I had to make sure I said the same things to the girls. I had to make sure I made the same facial expressions. I even made sure to keep track of licking my lips. I had certain time marks where I felt I needed to lick my lips at those times, otherwise I was disrespecting them. It was very weird. Now, I did this for, like I said, the better part of 2 years, and honestly probably a little bit more, but we'll say 2 years. And I didn't deviate from that video. I didn't venture out. That was my home. I lived in Nice Pair of Lesbians on RedTube, and they took my home away. It's not there anymore. I'd like to remind you all that it's not fucking there. Goddamn crime. It's a fucking sin what they've done removing that. But now, to tie it back to the title of the video, I watched the lesbian porn for 2 years. Here's what happened. What happened is I recognized how weird it was, and I started to really combat my OCD, and I started cheating on the porno by watching other videos. I did. I'll come out and say it. I fucking cheated on that porn video and watched other ones. And that's what happened. I stopped being so fucking weird through a lot of effort to try and combat my OCD rituals. I've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to get into how I did that or the steps I took. But that's the result of watching porn for 2 years. You feel like a fucking degenerate loser, and then eventually you stop, hopefully, if you try hard enough. But anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you all. See ya. When you look at me, the first thing you probably think to yourself is, man, this guy likes to party. This looks like a guy who's not only super tall, but also breathes life into any hootenanny that he attends. And you'd be right to a certain extent. I used to enjoy the old shindig back in college. I'd go out pretty often. And I saw a video today that reminded me of an extremely sad and embarrassing tale that I haven't thought of in a long time. So I'd like to show you the video that brought about this Winter Soldier episode within me, and then go over the video as well as the story that I'd like to tell.
Joe Burrow! Joe Burrow! You didn't even come close.
That's where the video ends, but I imagine he ran down the stairs, ran behind the house, started crying, and then just buried himself. Just fucking died there. It was so sad to see a man super excited to be getting tossed a beer. The local frat dudes were like, hey, this guy needs a fucking brewski. So they, you know, fucking Amazon primed one. Now, it wasn't a great throw. That was definitely not a Joe Burrow caliber toss. And it nearly killed the guy. Fucking sent him over the rails for it, because I mean, that guy was thirsty, right? And the only thing that quenched that thirst was butt chugging a Miller Lite across the street. So yeah, dude went ass over face, falling off the balcony, then hitting the deck and flopping like a fish down below. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this instant replay up on the Jumbotron, because I'm pretty sure this man exploded midair, like Mr. Potato Head, just bits and pieces flying all over the place. His hat just got blasted off. I'm pretty sure he lost both of his shoes there. The G-forces near tore his clothes off as well. He was almost butt-ass naked by the time he hit the ground. Like, I don't know what went wrong, but there's just like so many clothing items that get lost on the small fall. But anyway, this brought out a repressed memory deep within me. It's something I haven't thought about in a while, and it made me very yucky feeling. I just cringed and thought it'd be something worth sharing with all of you before I once again lock that away forever, never to think about it again. This happened back in college before I retired from partying. I now no longer believe in fun at social gatherings, I guess. I just don't really party or anything anymore. And it was one of the first parties I had went to after getting to college. And I didn't really know anyone, of course, and I had already established myself as the weird, mysterious anime character, so I'm sure people had recognized me as a fucking psychopath before going to this party. So the fact that I showed up there probably already made people uncomfortable. I would have been in my sophomore year here, I imagine. I can't quite remember, but it was one of the first parties I went to, and that was like the only time I started going out. So I'm at this party, it's a house party, and there's a pool. They have a keg, they even have like a live band performing inside. It was just some like butt rock band that I'm assuming the members were students at the school. It was, you know, going all out, and as the night continued, I didn't really interact with many people, pretty much anyone aside from Andrew, who I went with. And, you know, wasn't getting a whole lot done, wasn't drinking that much or anything, but towards the end of the night, as people started getting a bit sloppy, they started doing beer-catching trick shots. And it was cool, and I at this point thought, this is my chance. This is my time to shine. I can stand out and make friends by being the guy that makes a cool beer catch. Even though I'd never, like, caught a fucking Mach 5 thrown beer, because they were going hard. They're doing like behind the back tosses, behind the back catches, and just fucking throwing that shit as hard as they possibly can and seeing if someone can catch it. And I was like, this is it. This is how I finally make a name for myself here. And one of the tricks that they did that I thought would be, you know, my time to hop in is they were doing it over the pool. So they were doing like cool between the leg tosses over the pool, and someone would go in, do like a 360 and catch it before hitting the water. Then they'd come out, pop it open, and chug it like stone cold. They didn't shotgun it, so kind of pussy shit, if I do say so myself now. You know, hindsight's 20/20. But anyway, I thought, this is it. I know I can front flip into this pool. I knew I could do it, and I thought it'd be the coolest thing those eyes had ever seen. I thought everyone would be like uproariously cheering me, going wild, like, holy fuck, this dude just front flipped into the pool and caught a beer. I was running through this fantasy in my head. I was like, yep, this is how I do it. I'm gonna be the coolest fucking dude on campus. So I teed up at the end of the pool, you know, I'm queuing up, I'm ready. Everyone's still around the pool, cheering on cool catches, booing misses, and I knew that this was my time to shine. No one's paid any attention to me up until this point. No one is looking at me on the end of the pool there. So in order to get their attention, I start like clapping, you know, like, hey, I'm ready. Toss me the pigskin. Give me the rock. I'm ready. Feed me. So I'm clapping, trying to get like their attention. The dudes that are tossing the beers, like setting up the trick shots. And then eventually one of them does look at me, and without a second thought, the second we lock eyes, I just do a front flip into the pool, barely, mind you, and I have my arms straight up, and I don't finish the whole rotation, so I end up on my ass with my hands up in the air, and no one throws a beer. So I just fucking shittily front flip into the pool. It looks like I'm probably drowning, like a ship going down as the sail slowly keeps sinking because my arms are above the water. I've already failed my front flip, so now I'm just sinking in shame. I pop up, there's no beer, and no one's even looking at me. I don't even get a boo. Nobody cared at all. It was the saddest fucking moment of my life. Like, if someone had just given me, like, a pity, woohoo, or like, aw, something, I would have been like, okay, not all is lost. But I got literally nothing. Straight up crickets, and then some other dude did a trick shot into the pool, and they loved that. Meanwhile, the fucking socially inept turbo virgin on the other side gets fucking nothing. And I don't remember exactly what happened next, but I can't imagine we stayed much longer, because I do remember getting into the taxi soaking wet. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to air dry. I imagine what happened is Andrew felt my pain and was like, Charlie, let's get the fuck out. But I guess I just blacked out from cringe at that point because I can't complete the story. I just remember that, and man, it was sad. So yeah, this video really brought that demon back, brought that evil out of me, and I just wanted to share it with all of you because, you know, I don't want to think about it again past this point. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Today I wanted to tell a story I recently told on stream about the time I got scammed for all of the money I had at the time. I must have been 18, maybe 19. I was definitely still a virgin when this happened. Not that that's pertinent to the story, but just a little bit of lore there, a little side note. And my friend Andrew had come to visit me so we could party at my university. But unfortunately, when he came up, there were no parties, and if there were, we certainly weren't invited. The lacrosse bros did not want the gamer nerds coming in, so I've got my buddy Andrew over, and he's just eating fucking Reese's cups as we're doing nothing except playing like Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and then eventually we decided to find something else to do, and we found a carnival that had rolled into town. It was like one of those pop-up shop carnivals where they transport everything in on like a dilapidated school bus. So they scooted in and they set up shop nearby and we're like, well, fuck it, we're not doing anything else. Let's go to this carnival. And I swear to God, when we got there, it looked like something out of Courage the Cowardly Dog. This place looked haunted. And we were basically like the only customers there. There was like a few children, or at least the spirits of children that were there, like hanging out, and they were riding the only ride at this carnival, which was one of those spinning rides, but it was like this giant horrifying metal contraption that just looked like a medieval torture device. It looked like a fucking transformer that had gotten hit with a stick of dynamite. It looked so rusted and gross. I have no doubt that was just a tetanus disaster waiting to happen. I don't even know if those kids are even alive anymore if they rode that fucking thing. But that's about all they had. They had that one ride and then a ton of shady carnival games. Not like the fun, goofy ones that you can actually win, you know, like the basketball one or shooting water into a target. They had only the rigged ones that you can't win under any circumstances. So this was less of a carnival that came in and more of just like a rolling scam that travels. But of course, I'm 18, 19 years old at the time. I'm a virgin, so all I'm really thinking about is titties and how I'm not seeing them. So, you know, I kind of disregard that, and I'm going around with Andrew, and we're playing a few of the games. Of course, we're not winning anything. Not even like those tiny stuffed animals. We're getting nothing. The closest thing we're getting to a prize is stepping on a used condom in the parking lot. Like, there's just really nothing that we're accomplishing. We're just wasting money and wasting time. To reiterate the location, it was literally in a parking lot in between two condemned buildings. That was the location. This fucking barren wasteland looked like something out of the Fallout universe. It would have been less gross to just wander through catacombs, because at least then we wouldn't have been losing money doing it. But I came to this with like $200 in my wallet or something like that, and we were playing through these games, not winning, and I'd gone down like 50 or 60 bucks, I don't remember exactly what, but it was a lot. Like, we were spending a lot of time just indulging in this filthy sin. Now, before I get to like the actual meat here of when I lost all my money and how this all happened, I want to drive home a point. I'm not exactly like a super gullible person, I don't think. I like to imagine like I'm a grizzly, chiseled man with hair on my sack because as an avid RuneScape player, I know how to recognize a scam. I started playing RuneScape in 2005, and I got used like a fleshlight on that game. I was falling for a lot of scams. I once gave my fucking password away to a guy who said that he didn't think my password was cool. So to prove him wrong, I just gave him my password in order to impress him. And then I lost my account to him. Like, I was scammed a lot. And it was an invaluable lesson it taught me. When someone's trying to take advantage of me, how to recognize a scammer, and just like all of these red flags that should go off in people's heads when they're faced with a scam. I think every child should be scammed at some point. Teach them a valuable lesson. They don't need to lose their house or anything, or like get wrapped up with a crypto gambling scam or whatever. But maybe just like a small scale scam for candy. Teach them a little something. I always believed that the lessons I learned in RuneScape through getting scammed would be very helpful, and so far they have been. But on that day, nothing could have prepared me for the scam that I was going to encounter at that godforsaken carnival. The game was the toss a ball off a backboard, make it land in a bucket, and you win one of the jumbo prizes, like the fucking wumbo-sized unicorns and bears and shit. So for those that don't know, the game is a wooden backboard, it's a big circle, and it's at an angle, slanted this way. Underneath it is a basket that's poking out just enough for a ball to bounce off the backboard and fall in the basket. And you only have to do it one time and you win the biggest prize. So this carnival's not very big, obviously. Andrew and I had passed this a few times and it wasn't like there was some heavenly glow on it, like this is the game for me, this is the one I want to play. But as we passed it for like the third or fourth time, the dude finally calls over. He's like, you guys are just wandering around, come over here, let's just like talk and hang out. And we weren't doing anything, so we'll come flirt with this guy, whatever. And he's just so charismatic. We're just talking, shooting the shit. I think he brought up sports, and at the time I was like a sports fan, so we talked a little bit. And then he just started talking about his game. He's like, if you guys want to play, you can just like play this game. It's $5 for 3 throws, might as well, and we'll just keep talking. I was like, that's a good deal, $5, 3 throws, and it looks really easy. And he's like, well, I don't want you to think that this is like rigged or anything. I want to show you that this can be done because, he must have seen us losing. So he demonstrated that it can be done. So he walks up, he's like a little off to the side of where I'm standing, where I have to stand to shoot. And he bounces it off the backboard, first try, right in the bucket. He's like, yeah, I can do this all day. Picks up the ball, does it again, picks up the ball, does it again. He does it like 3 times in a row, and it's like, okay, this game looks really easy. So then he hands me the balls. It's an absolute disaster. I'm sticking my dick in my own ass. I can't get a single ball even close to the bucket, no matter how lightly I throw it or where I'm hitting the backboard. For some reason, it's like it's being shot out of a cannon once it hits that backboard. And it's not making any sense to me because I'm doing like the exact same thing he is. I'm putting a little spin on it. It's just not getting the job done. Nothing's working. And then he hits me with this proposition. For $10, I'll give you 10 throws, and I'll give you your money back from this round and the previous round, and still give you the big prize. I was like, what in tarnation? This is the nicest guy on earth. What a great deal. 10 throws, $10, and I get all of my money back plus the big prize? What am I waiting for? I'm fucking losing money not playing right now. How am I going to say no to this? That right there is a huge red flag. I didn't know this until well after the fact, but this is a well-known carnival scam. When they start saying you could win your money back, they're doing that because they know you can't. The game is rigged. He shows me again, he's like, hey, let me just make sure you know that you can do this. Just do it just like this. So then he just makes it 5 more times right in front of me. Like, he just shows that it is very easily achievable. Hands me the balls, I go through all 10 balls, nothing even close. Like, sometimes you can get it to bounce off the backboard and hit the basket inside, but the ball's so light that it bounces right out, like every single time. So now I'm $15 in the shitter and I'm feeling really bad. Andrew's trying to be like the guardian angel on my shoulder, like, Charlie, let's just go ahead and leave. You're not gonna make this. It's clearly too difficult and there's some trick to it you don't know. And I took that as a challenge. I'm like, excuse me, motherfucker, what did you say to me? You say I can't do this? Sign me up for another round, let's ride. And it's the same deal. He doubled the price again, so $20 for 10 balls, but I can win my money back. So for $20, I can win my $15 back, and then I'm back where I started, and everything's good, and I get the big prize. So again, I go through all 10 balls, nothing. Nothing at all. Now this is a lot of money. Again, this was $200, that's everything I had in my wallet, that's everything I had at the time for spendable cash. So this is a lot of money that I am juggling around here. We didn't go to the carnival with the intent to spend a lot, but just getting wrapped up in boredom and just like the will to not keep being a loser at the carnival just kept me spending. Down almost, and it's been like half an hour of just this. Andrew's sitting there watching this whole train wreck happen. And it's not getting any better. The guy's gone from charming to full-blown scam mode. He, like, completely drops the facade of being nice. After, like, the second time I did $20 for 10 throws, he's like, yep, you want to do 20 more? You can win your money back. You probably want that money back. So he starts guilting me into it, and I'm like, he's right. I need that money back. So I give him another $20. I go through the balls. It's not even close. I lose again, and I'm sweating. I am sweating so fucking hard. Andrew is begging me not to keep playing the game. But I'm seeing red now, and I can't stop. I have to. So I do 20 again for another 10 throws to try and win my money back. I don't do it. I fail again. This fucking, like, this guy is still just prodding, still trying to squeeze every cent out of me. I'm just this dude's little dirty cum rag that he's wringing out and getting some money from. So we continue for another like 15-20 minutes or however long it was. It felt like an eternity, and I'm down to my last $20 in my wallet. And, you know, I'm praying, you know, fucking give that $20 a kiss, and I spend it. I rolled the dice, I went for it one more time, and I don't win. I'm now completely out of money. I tell him that, and I start to just ask if he could just give me some of it back. I'm desperate, I wanted some of it back, I needed some of it back. And he's like, bro, I just can't do that. My boss would be really mad at me if I let that happen. But look, there's an ATM over, like, it was like a couple blocks away. He told me the location. He's like, just go to the ATM, get some more money, come back, and I will absolutely show you the perfect tricks. You're just not getting the technique right, and I'll show you what you're doing wrong. So this piece of shit tried to get me to go to an ATM to get more money out to keep playing his game, which was rigged. There was no way to win from the start. I'm shocked he didn't try and get me to sign some kind of contract with blood, this fucking demon. And I strongly considered it. I did, because that's a lot of money. It was like $140 that I spent on that game. $200 in total at that fucking carnival, but on that game in particular, there was $140 right in the goddamn toilet, right into that stinky dumpster. And I needed that back. Like, I really wanted that back. But Andrew talked me out of actually going to get more money from the ATM, like from savings or something. And I didn't go back, I ate the loss. That, to date, is one of like the most shameful moments / scams